Hi guys, I'm Nitin,
Hi, I'm Andy.
and today we're running through
Lentor Central Residences.
Okay, to stay connected with us, do follow our Telegram channel. So this is my Telegram channel where you have updates on bounce out units as well as good deals. This is also Andy's WhatsApp, so do feel free to reach out to us anytime if you have any property related queries.
Or if you want me to go through the floor plan analysis or other projects, just draw us a DM.
Okay, so before we start, we'd like to have a disclaimer that any prices stated are not official. So these are just our estimates on what could be the possible starting prices for this development. Okay, so first things first, let's get started proper. So for developer wise, we have Goko Land, Hong Leong CSE. So we all know that Goko Land is the main driving force behind the Lentor transformation. They are the ones behind all the Lentor projects. In fact, most of it, not all, but most of it. Yeah, what do you think?
They like monopoly the whole place.
Somehow all the bids is always going to go because they know they're getting the correct pricing. Yeah, they're always...
I think which is good because they will like maintain the price. They won't anyhow play the price up or down. I think they want you just to keep it like a very stable growth, those kind of thing.
I also think personally it ensures the standard is consistent throughout the developments.
Yep.
Not like one development very good, another one very bad. Then it will affect when you're trying to exit. So I think all this is very important. So yeah, preview date is on the 22nd of Feb. So it's coming soon, right after the Parktown, Elta period. It's crazy now. Booking dates on the 7th of March. All this is our tentative, not official yet. But once we have the official confirmation, we'll let you guys know.
If not, just drop us a call. We will just let you know the latest updates.
So what I'll highlight to you guys here is that these are some of the perspectives that we're looking at. So what I want to highlight to you guys is that you can see that this is the key idea for this project is the two tall towers, which I think Lentor, it will make a little bit of difference because the views that you get, the other ones are mid or lower rise.
I think this is the highest building around that Lentor area, if I'm not wrong.
It's true. Later we'll run through the exact heights. Okay, amenities wise, I'm not going to go through in detail because by now this is the 6th project in Lentor. Everyone's very familiar.
I think it's the same thing.
So for this project, it's about 3 minutes from MRT. All the other amenities pretty standard. So I think I will not be going through in detail.
For the project info, this Lentor Central, there's only 2 towers and the highest floor is 27 and 28 right now. So they also even have a childcare center within the development itself. So over there, plot ratio is 2.8. The total unit itself will be 477 units, and good thing about the car park lot is everyone have their own car park lot plus 4 handicap lots. So nowadays in the Lentor area, I don't think most of the projects have one-to-one those kind of car park lot.
So for Lentor projects, usually 80%, which is I think quite consistent with all the other developments in Singapore also.
Reason because it's near to the MRT, that's why they only give 80%. So for this one, as I mentioned, it's pretty rare that they give 1:1.
Right now we are looking at the site plan. So what I want to highlight to you guys is that there's just 2 blocks, Block 20 and Block 18, like what Andy mentioned earlier. So what we can see here is that there's 2 different facing. One is facing the external for both sides. Another one is the internal pool facing and the facilities facing. All comes down to pricing. All comes down to what's your preference. Not everyone likes to be facing the pool. Not everyone likes to be facing the external road. End of the day, it's really whether the price that you're paying makes sense.
It also down back to one thing, which is the layout. See which development have a better layout. So I think Lentor Central, the layout is pretty good. Probably later we'll just go through that and showcase to you guys.
Yep. I also have superimposed the site plan. So this is the Lentor Central Road that you have. There's a bit of a Lentor Hillock Park. So the good thing about Lentor is a lot of greenery. So if you are a greenery lover, there's a lot of parks. Even though you're external facing, you still get a bit of a greenery view, which Definitely. I think is not as bad as some developments you just see is facing the road. Yeah, so it's a little bit of an added appeal.
I mean, mid to low floor itself, I think they are facing the hillock. Then those higher floor, I think they will oversee the Lentor mansion itself.
So this is just the approximate distance between the different blocks and towers. I will not be going through in detail, but I just wanted to highlight to you guys that between the 2 blocks, Block 20 and Block 18, the distance is about 37 meters.
And I think good thing is they are not blocking each other's view. Totally.
Which I think the developer has put some thought into it to ensure that you don't get a block view. You don't see your neighbors until that.
Okay, so for the unit mix, total there is only 1 to 4 beders. For 1 bedder itself, you can see that there's 55 units, 2 bedder is 210 units, then 3 bedder is 106 units, and for 4 bedder is 106 units. So I think it's a pretty good mix. It's more like a own stay plus investment point of view. And I also just now went through the floor plan itself. The 2 bedder, some of the 2 bedder can even make it into a 3-bedroom compact. overall, the whole place is very family condo, if you ask me. Not like those very investment point of view, those kind of condominium.
Another thing I also realized that the two-bedder is the highest proportion, and it's also because I think nowadays I feel that family sizes are small. It's usually just parents and one child. So family size is like about 3. So even those that are buying for own stay, nowadays we see that even a 2-bed is enough for them. So that's why I also think the developers are moving more towards a 2-bedder kind of arrangement, like even though for own stay as well. Because last time it used to be just for investment.
Which is true lah. Because me myself also having just purchased a 2-bedder for my own stay with a kid some more. So I think that direction, I think the Gruco Land is quite smart, aiming this
I
down.
think they're very in tune with the whole changing family dynamics because nowadays you don't see families having a lot of kids expensive. So maintenance charges, it's quite standard I think it's about 300 plus to all the way to 492 for the bigger units. So I think I just wanted to give you guys a heads up because I think some of you may a bit more sensitive to the maintenance charges because you want to get good value for the money that you're paying every month.
The price over there all quite, the maintenance fee is all about the same one.
Okay, so now we're looking at the maintenance charges. Pretty standard, I feel, 300 plus to about 500.
You are right because overall the whole Lentor area is all monopolized by Gruco, so they also don't want to play themselves out. The price is pretty standard. Rather than one is $300, the other one is, I think then they themselves will play themselves out that those $800 one will be very hard for them to sell.
Okay, so now we have come to one of my favorite part, which is the land bid price analysis. I wanted to highlight to you guys is that because Lentor, there's a lot of plots. 6 plots were put up together. So there's also one more coming up. So it's going to be a lot of development.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, no news of it yet so it's going to be coming out in the pipeline. So what I want to highlight to you guys here is that one of the key things here is that this land is purchased the cheapest amongst all the Lentor plots. So whether the developer would launch cheap, we do not know.
Have chance
But there's a high chance I think because in general, this project as well as Lentor mentioned, right, the difference is not much, only 0.3%. So I think it's very attractive because I have friends who missed out on Lentor, so I think it's a good chance for them to also look to enter because some people may have missed the whole Lentor wave.
Definitely.
I think if you miss, then you still think, hey, this project, can I still buy?
They always have the perspective that the next plot will be more expensive than the next plot. So apparently that this is cheaper than the rest of the other plot itself.
So in general, the biggest difference is Lentor Modern because integrated, so the price is also reflected accordingly, 22% more. Lentoria is also pretty expensive, 15% more. So Lentoria is also quite a project that is quite expensive to be honest, if you were to ask me.
Yep, agree.
In general, this is what I wanted to highlight to you guys for land bid price. What I want to highlight to you is that there were 2 bids. So the other bidder was in the estimated break even after you factor in land, construction, land financing, professional fees, you're looking at 1793. But of course, the developer is going to be marking up 20%. So in that case, we are looking at about 2151 per square foot. And honestly, because in my previous analysis, I think for Alta or the Parktown also, I don't think the developer is going to launch even at a 20% markup, which it came out to be true because indicative is already 2122. But in this case, I think for a 2.1 per square foot is something that is quite doable. Reason being is because, let's not mention 0.3% difference. It's also launched around 2.1 per square foot.
And somehow on that day itself, they launched and they sold 75%.
Yeah,
so
it was crazy.
If the same developer, probably they might want to obtain the same strategy to sell at that kind of price. For the Lentor Mansion itself, the launch day, they sold 75%. So just on one day itself.
So it's quite crazy.
Yeah, so for the same developer, they might want to obtain the same strategy to sell off as much unit as possible.
I also wanted to highlight to you that Lentor Mansion is harmonized and Lentor Central is also harmonized. So they may behave similarly because Lentor Mansion was the first harmonized project in the whole Lentor.
Yep.
So it could be a reason. Yeah, the pricing may also be similar.
And some of the next plot of land, I don't think it's a high rise. I think so. Can I say that for Lentor Central itself, it will be so-called the iconic one. You drove past, then people will look at that because it's like really a high-rise building among the rest.
So for Lentor, in general, I think you have to stand out in a certain way because all the projects, there's quite a few. So I think for Lentor Central, we are looking at about 27, 28 stories. Very, very interesting because I think you have a very good view of the whole, because there's a hillock park. It will be a very nice view. If you're someone into views, then you got something that can give you a good view. Of course, Lentor Central will be a good option. This is the Lentor projects comparison that I've done. So what I want to highlight to you guys is mainly the CHRJ Sandix 1 kilometer. So it's a top girls' school, primary school in Singapore, and everyone wants to send their girls there. So in general, what we see is that for Lentor Hills is partially...
Some of the blocks they're having the Sangnit. The other one might not. Some of the blocks.
For Lentor Hills is partial. Lentoria, yes. Lentor Mansion, yes. But for Lentor Central, no. So this is something that you might want to factor in if you are looking to send your child to CHRJ St. Nick's. Then it may not be within the 1 kilometer. So we want to highlight to you guys about this.
But for the inventory list wise, there isn't much
stock for all these developments. Just now we were talking about building height. So we're looking at 25 stories, 23 stories. In general, it's pretty mid to low rise in general. But the highest is definitely Lentor Central. Land size wise, smallest is Lentoria. So you see the Lentoria is very dense. The facilities are all very close together. And the biggest one would definitely be Lentor Mansion. So with a larger land size, you get a wider range of facilities and then it's less dense. You don't feel that everything is crammed into one small area.
Okay, this whole thing will be the Lentor Balanced Infantry. So you can see that for the Hillock Green itself, they only left 71 units. Then for Lentor Mansion, you only left last 10 units. And for Lentoria itself, you only left balance of 80 units. And for the Lentor Hill itself, they only left last 4 units itself. Then as for Lentor Modern, 100% sold. So in total, 247 units, there is only 165 units left right now. So it's 7% balance unit left in the whole entire Lentor. So right, we're just injecting another 477 units inside. So likelihood, I feel that really 60 to 70% will be sold on day one.
If everyone say oversupply in Lentor, but still you see they only left 7% of units.
Keep selling the whole area.
So in general, people always say because generally, so many developments, so many units, but we see that there's still a demand, there are still people buying. That's why you see that there's only 7% of balanced units. Okay, just now I was saying about oversupply, because this is something that even a lot of my friends, a lot of my clients also feel that Lentor can buy man. You come later, I come out, I also cannot sell. Then
everyone TOP almost the same time, 1-2 years difference only.
So what we want to do here is that we want to show you an example. Treasure at Tampines. I know that Treasure at Tampines is one development only, but Lentor there's a few But what I want to highlight to you guys here is that they behave the same way. Because
actually, Treasure itself is already 2,200 units. Then for the other side, Lentor cluster is 2,009 units. So it's like, if I say the whole cluster is equivalent to one project. So one project is more scarier than a few different projects.
Definitely. As well as you see, so for number of 2-bedroom in the Treasure, 33%. Number of all the 2-bedroom units in the whole of Lentor is about 1176 units, which is about 40%.
Which is 7% different, right?
Yes. So in this way, even though one is development only and the other is multiple developments, we can say that they behave the same way. Okay, so the number of 2-bedroom units in Lentor is about 1176 units, which is 40%. So in general, they are similar in terms of the units.
To be honest, so can I say that whole Lentor area, 2,900 units over there, definitely some developments, the layout might not be so good, some layout is better. So in terms of that, because we already ran through the Lentor Central Residences layout, we find that the Lentor Central itself, the layout is maybe superior than some of the developments, the 2-beders, the 3-beders. We will go to the next one for example to show you that Treasure itself, how the 2-bedder itself, the layout, 2 different kind of layout, same size, but the profit is totally different.
So we have a case study here. So this is block 11. We can't share unit number, PDPA. 678 square feet. Purchase price about 950, selling price 1.26. Profit is 345k for a 678 square feet 2-bedder, which is very good. Because I want to highlight to you guys here that Treasure does not have an MRT nearby. When it launched, many people say no MRT, not fantastic location, but it made a profit of 345k. The next example that we have is similar, 11 floors, also 678 square feet, but the profit is only 110k. This one, what we also highlight to you is that the transaction happened a few days apart, same month, October 2023. What I want to highlight to you guys is that the profit margin we see is 3 times difference almost. For one is 300 plus, one another is 100 plus only. Why is that so?
Maybe you can share with us the differences.
Okay, it's because of this thing called enclosed kitchen. Personally, I'm in Treasure almost every week, serving buyers looking for 2-bed, 2-bath. The preferred layout there is the one with the enclosed kitchen. Everyone wants the enclosed kitchen. So as an owner that has the enclosed kitchen, they are able to hold their prices because they know that their unit is something that is in high demand. They are also less likely to negotiate to the numbers that you're looking at because if I'm a seller, I know that my unit is very
more favorable, right?
Because I know that I am in demand, everyone wants me. So in that kind of sense, definitely an enclosed kitchen made the difference here. That's why we can see that in terms of the layout, one, you can see that this has an enclosed kitchen. The other one, the kitchen is just like that. So it made a huge difference when both these sellers were selling lah.
I think not just that, because of the proposed study, you can look at on the left-hand side, you can look at the left-hand side, the proposed study, you can use it as a dining area. So like a more popular area for us to do dining. But for the other side is, if you put the dining area on the left-hand side, then you will cram up the whole place. That's why the left-hand side layout is much efficient. And with the tuck-in kitchen, I think everything don't block the place at all. So in short,
what's the link to Lentor? Why we wanted to highlight about this whole enclosed kitchen and the one layout is better than the other is because for a Lentor, right, it's very important that you go into a layout that is desirable as well. Because if you buy a wrong layout, then this is something that might happen to you.
It won't be bad, but its only profit is 110, the other one is 345, having the same period of time.
Personally, I would feel very because I buy the wrong thing but it's something that you need to take note of, especially in areas where there's a lot of units. You need to buy something that
play out the right entry price.
So now we have come to the one bedroom analysis. So we have type 1B, block 18, stack 6, which is about 26 units, 463 square feet outward facing. So you can see that this facing this side. So what I want to highlight to you here is that one bedder, not many developments have. So if you're an investor looking at something that's a bit of a lower quantum, you can get about 3% rental yield. I think this is something that you can take a look at because for 970k, 6 mil, very attractive for one bedder.
Might have chance less than 1 mil.
Yeah, so this is based on the different per square foot estimate that we have. So in terms of layout wise, pretty standard. I think it's most one bedders in the market nowadays is like that.
Okay. So this is the one bedder comparison within the Lentor cluster itself. So for the Lentor Central itself, the size is 463 square feet. So there is actually Lentoria 538, 517. For the Lentor Hill is at 463. So why I emphasize on the square feet itself, as an investor, I think they don't want to come up with so much money. So it's bigger size, which means that you have to add it into your PSF also. So we also can see that the highest transaction over here for Lentoria itself actually is 1.32, which means already transacted. People is accepting this. And for Hill Lot Green itself, the highest is 1.32. So you can see generally people are accepting this type of price at 1.3, 1.2 range. For the Lentor Hill itself, the highest transaction is 1.39, and there's still 3 more units selling at 1.4 something. So if Lentor Central launching at 1 to 1.2 like that, I think it's something that we can really take a look with it. We can take a look at it, to be honest.
Because as an investor, you are buying something that is cheaper than last year someone bought and the previous years.
And someone is proven, right? Someone already purchased and transacted.
So you immediate paper gains if you buy something.
So, which means that if you bought it at 1.2, so I think the person that bought at 1.3, I think they need to sell 1.4 so that to earn some money. For us, we just sell at their break-even price 1.3. I think it's good enough. Right.
Okay, so right now we're looking at the 2-bed premium analysis. So we have type 2A, we're looking at block 20, stack 10, 25 units, about 5%, quite standard. 678 square feet, inward facing. So you can see that this is facing the pool side. So what we see for this layout, right, is that tuck-in kitchen. What I'm going to show you for the entire Lentor Central is there's a lot of enclosed kitchen layouts. So it's very attractive because we don't see that for all the projects in Lentor.
A lot of Lentor cluster the projects they all having open concept. Of course, some is having enclosed, but that's why this Lentor Central, it will stand out among the rest.
I think the developer really put a lot of thought into the layouts because I think enclosed kitchen is a definite winner. Generally, most buyers like it. I mean, it's dumbbell layout so pretty standard. You can also put in a 6-seat dining horizontally as well if you would like to. So in terms of the estimated prices, you're looking at about 1.42 to 1.56, that range between 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 per square foot which I think is very attractive for a 2-bed 2-bath in today's market.
Yeah, because especially I don't think it's easy to get 1.4 something. I think Ori itself is already like 1.5, 1.6 starting from
even
already.
Resale market, you're looking at Affinity, all these, the prices are already at 1.45, that range already. So a new launch at this kind of pricing, I think is very attractive.
So new launch selling at resale price?
Definitely.
Wow.
And there's an MRT factor because it's only 3 minutes away from MRT. Yeah. Okay, so for this stack, you can see that there's a partial park view, which I think is quite attractive as well. Okay, so for type 2B, we are looking at block 20, stack 18, 25 units, 89 square feet, inward facing. So you can see that just similar to just now, the pool facing kind of thing. Traditional layout, so it's not a dumbbell. Good thing is that the whole wall here, right, you can stretch to do some cabinets. you can get quite a bit of privacy here lah. Because when you open the door, you don't get to see what's happening inside the house lah, which I think some people really value that. And because of that, right, even for extra 11 square feet, would you be willing to pay 24K for
Actually,
that?
I'm willing to pay for 24K for that lah. Reason why is dumbbell layout might not have the best privacy, because by standing at the center of the unit itself, you can look at master bedroom, you also can look at the common bedroom. So for this one, those traditional layout, at least that people cannot see directly into the bedroom itself. So the overall, I still think that this layout is not a bad unit, and I'm willing to pay for 24,000 only. I have my privacy. I think I will okay with that.
2-bed analysis, now we're looking at type 2C, so we're looking at a block 18 stack 1. 26 units, 678 square feet, inward facing. So we can see that the entrance, right, the walkway is quite long and it's not as ideal as the Type 2A that we're looking at.
Slightly longer lah. Things that I don't like is the dining area faces the common bathroom. So for Type 2A, they don't really face the common bathroom lah.
In terms of a general estimated price, is also indicated here for your reference. For a 2-bed premium, in terms of our rankings, what's the number 1, 2, 3, right? Definitely we'll be preferring the 689 square feet, because just now Andy mentioned for 24K.
I have my own privacy here.
But if it's 24K, I think it's very okay.
And I think that another 5% from the 2A, 5% from the 2C, 10% versus 5% 2B, which is slightly rare, is much rare than the other two type of layouts are. So that's why when buyer comes in and view in the resale market, they will see, this one dumbbell layout. Then the other one is, this is a traditional layout. They will find that not much big difference, and I pay for that a little bit more. So it's just like the treasure, the explanation like that.
So we were saying that we do not like the dining because it's facing the toilet, as well as the walkway is quite long. So that's why our rankings are 2B first, then after that 2A, and then lastly 2C.
For the 2-bed premium comparison, we done some homework on that. So basically we have 6 different projects over here. Some is harmonized, some is not harmonized. Some have enclosed kitchen, some don't have enclosed kitchen. So today we will just use for Lentor Central itself, because most of the 2-bedder itself have enclosed kitchen. So as I mentioned, those that with open concept kitchen most likely will not be very favorable in future.
Lentoria.
For Lentoria, they don't have the enclosed kitchen. And for the Lentor Mansion, it also don't have, which means that comparison is between Lentor Central, Hillock Green, Lentor Modern. So based on that, there's only one that is harmonized. So which means in terms of size, this is slightly bigger than the rest. For the highest transacted price over there in Lentoria itself is 1.76, which means that if Lentor Central is launching at 1.5 something, I think anything below 1.7, I think is good to get as well. For Hillock itself, the highest transacted is 1.58, but don't forget, the size is slightly smaller, and this is non-harmonization. So which means that this, for the effective size, maybe is only 600-ish a little. So for Lentor Modern itself, you can look at the kitchen, it's just an L shape, so which means that they either have a lot of countertop space, but good thing they have their study. But to be honest, the study is not big enough. It's more like a storeroom if you ask me. So as I mentioned, that the area of the wall over here, they isn't have much wall if you ask me. Then for the Lentor Hill itself, the enclosed kitchen highest transaction is 1.52, and you can see that the enclosed kitchen is pretty nice. The long walkway is pretty wide. The effective size might not be 6, 7, 8 square feet, because if you minus away the aircon latch, so probably effective size may be like 620 like that. So as compared to Lentor Central is a harmonized one, so which means that 6, 7, 8 is 100% that you're paying for lah.
So we are looking at 2-bed plus study analysis now. The Type 2D, Block 20, Stack 14, 25 units is about 5% also. 786 square feet, outward facing. So we can see that this is where it is. In terms of the layout itself, what I like is that the study, right, is like inside a room. You can merge all this together, which I think is something that I like. As well as compared to the 678 square feet, right? 108 square feet difference, you take it about 2.2 per square foot on average, you're paying about 237K additional, right? Is it worth for a study and a bigger kitchen? Is that something that you will pay for?
Depends, because if I top up a 250,000 above this 2+ study, right, I can get a 3-bedroom compact itself. And the 3-bedroom compact itself is very efficient. Later I will show you on that.
Okay, so what I want to highlight to you guys as well is that this one, right, you can have this whole space together. So what I mean by that is that you, next time you want to split and then you want to rent out to 2 different parties, it's also doable. And I think it's also quite attractive because in a way you're enjoying 2 master bedroom kind of setting.
And for someone that is looking for a bigger 2-bedders for the master bedroom size, right? So this one can be a very good option, right? 2-bedder, you can look at the master bedroom size is quite standard, but I think rarely you can have a very big master bedrooms. So as a common bedroom, you can make it into a very big master bedroom with a walk-in wardrobe or study area.
Next one is type 2E, so there's block 18, block 20, stack 4, stack 15. 51 units, about 11%, quite sizable. We're looking at 786 square feet, also similar, outward facing. So what I want to highlight to you guys here, right, there's an additional L shape here. So what do I mean by that is that this L-shaped kitchen glass panel, right, will help to bring in more light to the kitchen, so you don't feel it's very dark. Because some people we see in the market, they don't like the kitchen area being very dark, so they want to have extra light coming in. I think this is a good option. You can also see that the study is on the other side, not along the kitchen, as compared to the previous one that we showed. In terms of quantum, it's indicated here 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. Personally, for a 2-bed plus study, I think this is very attractive quantum because places like Champa is already going at 2 mil. So
True.
I think for a 2-bed plus study at this kind of quantum, very attractive. Next layout we're looking at is type 2F, block 18, stack 9. 26 units is facing inwards, so it's pool facing. So what we see here is that the dining, right, is jacked out.
So this is type 2F, so block 18, stack 9. There's only 26 units in this whole entire block. So size-wise is 797 inward facing, which means that you can oversee the pool on this direction itself. This layout itself, you can see the moment you open the door, enclosed kitchen is on your left-hand side. You're able to enclose this one if you really wanted to. Then on this area itself, as I mentioned, you can really enclose it to a very big master bedroom. So one thing that I like about this is the dining area facing towards the study area. So which means that you don't have a jerk out thing coming out. So you will make your place is a bit cramped. This one look very spacious as compared to the other layout itself. So master bedroom is on the other corner. So it's quite a pretty standard layout, but I want to say one thing, this wall itself is much longer. So which means that you can play more things on this area, like a study area, or maybe another bigger sofa on this area itself. So it really depends on how you want to do your things. For price-wise, estimated price will be 1.67 to 1.83. So as Nitin, what he mentioned, that Chuan Park is already transacted at 2 mil. I think this is something that you can take a look at. So this is 2-bedroom study ranking. So based on that, I choose type 2E is the number 1 because of over here, we have a glass panel which make the place is much spacious. And also we got a dining area that is properly placed in this area that you don't look into the common bathroom. So of course, flip side, over here we can have a huge master bedroom, which all of them, they can do. So number 2 will be type 2F, which I mentioned that they don't have the jerk out feeling. So it's one whole plank seamlessly. So dining and the study at one place. My number 3 will be type 2D. Neither here or there. You can see that the dining area is like tucked at this corner, only restricted in this area only itself. So this is a 2-bedroom comparison between the whole entire cluster. So basically you can see that Lentor Hill itself 743 square feet. Highest transacted over there is 1.59. And this is Hill Lot Green 753. Highest transacted is 8. For Lentor itself 732 square feet. Then you can see that higher transacted price is 1.58 and the balance unit is 1.95. So which means that area itself, people are already accepting like 1.9 something.
So right now we're looking at the 3-bed compact analysis. So we have type 3A, there's 2 stacks. So block 18, block 20, stack 7, stack 12. 51 units as well, inward, outward facing. What I want to highlight to you guys here is that this layout, right, it comes with a store. So for a compact 3-bedder to have a store, very rare. Then it's also enclosed kitchen, like for most of the layouts here in general. L-shaped glass panel, like what we mentioned earlier. So this space opposite bedroom 2, right, there's this window. So what it means is that allows more light to come in. The corridors won't be very dark because these kind of small differences matters a lot, especially you're looking at a 3-bed compact. Personally, I feel that this layout is very good for the price point also because with 1.92, you're getting a 3-bed compact. In today's market, I think it's very attractive.
To be honest, I think that this is the best 3-bedroom compact that I see before because there isn't a store in a 3-bedroom compact. There isn't a walkway, there's a window, all these things, and all the bedrooms can easily queen king itself. And as I mentioned, even for the dining area and the living area is very spacious, not like very crampy, those kind of feeling.
I think honestly on booking day, this will be one of the layouts that we sold off first. Very attractive. So 250k from a 2-bed plus study to a 3-bed compact. Is that something that you would take?
I will pay extra 250,000 just to have another 3-bedroom compact. This is 3-bedroom compact analysis. So as I mentioned, this will be comparison between all the Lentor cluster itself. So you can see that for Lentor Hill itself, the size is 958. Then the highest transacted price is 2.14 mil. Then for Hill Lot Green itself, the size is 904. Then the price is 2.09. Then Lentoria size is 915. highest transacted price is 2.12. And so the balance compared over there is 2002 to 2007, which is a very huge gap. So for Lentor Modern itself, size is 969, highest transacted price is 2.24, and Lentor Mansion itself, Harmonized, is 904, and highest transacted is 2.09. So let's say for this is non-harmonized 5, the size is slightly bigger than the rest, if you ask me. So in future, if your entry price is 2.01, I think with an enclosed kitchen, with a store, queen, king size itself, still got a window that can access, I think I definitely will be more interested in this layout itself among the rest. So this is 3-bedroom premium itself. So basically type 3B, block is block 20, stack will be 17, unit there's only 25 unit, which is very rare as well. Size is 1076 square feet, inward facing, looking at the pool and partial of the hill log park as well. The moment you open the door, this wall itself, you can install shoe cabinets. And on this side itself, you got your kitchen, your yard, your WC, and your bomb shelter. To be honest, for those that is going to an upgrader, which is condo upgraders, I think they probably will be looking at this size, 1076 square feet. Basically, they have almost everything that I just mentioned. Because they got helper's room, all these things they can really utilize. For dining area itself, you can see that easily can put in 6-seater. For the kitchen wise, they still got the L-shaped glass panel itself, which means that it allows more lights that can come in so that the kitchen won't be so dark as compared to some of the other developments. They don't have this type of long glass panel. So dining area easily can fit in 6-seater. Of course, over here you can see that the bedroom will be queen, king size. And best thing is the huge master bedroom. You even can do an L-shaped wardrobe itself for this layout. And all the toilets come with window, especially I want to highlight. Helper's toilet also got window as well. For the price wise, will be 2.26 to 2.47. So this is the estimated price. For 3-bedroom premium itself, type 3C. So there is only block 18, stack 2, which is only one block, one stack. So 26 unit, which is rare as well, 1076 square feet. Inward facing, south facing this time. So the layout is very similar. The only difference is only at this area, which is the entrance area. Price point is similar as well because same size price will be 2.26 to 2.47. These are the estimated prices. So for the 3-bedroom premium, for the 3-bedroom ranking itself, I will rank these two as in one because they both have the same function. But of course, if you really want me to choose, I really can't choose because both look very similar. Probably this will be my first, second, but they both look the same to me. Yeah. So of course, if you're talking about pricing wise, then I will probably talking about 915, more for the HDB upgraders and really for the investment choice because it comes with a complete 3-bedder compact, whereby some of them don't have. This one got almost everything except the helper's room.
For the quantum, I think it's very attractive for investors also.
So coming to 3-bedroom premium comparison, so among these 6 development itself, so you can see that Hill Lot Green is 1033 square feet. Highest transaction price is 2.38 mil. For Lentor Hill 1098 square feet, highest transaction is 2.42. Based on Lentoria, the size is 1119 square feet. The available unit is 2005 PSF and the highest transaction is 2.49. So coming towards this Lentor Modern 1109 square feet, highest transaction is 2.64. Compare between Lentor Mansion 1023 versus Lentor Central, which is 1076. Both are harmonized, and you can see the highest transaction over there is 2.38, and this is without a enclosed kitchen. If you can see that for Lentor Central itself, you have the master bedroom is much bigger than the rest of the development. If you ask me, I only can say that for Lentoria, it will look slightly better layout as compared to the rest. So second choice for me will be Lentor Central. But basically, there isn't much more options. So based on 2005 PSF, for Lentoria, the balance unit is around 2.6 mil. We can really see that if the price is at 2.34, it's a very comfortable entry price. Because we have already priced at 2.64 is a...
So right now we have come to the 4-bedroom compare analysis. So now we have type 4A, block 20, stack 13. It's actually outward facing, so you can see it's here. And then estimated price that we're looking at is about 2.49, 2.6, 2.72 mil. So in terms of the layout itself, you have to look at it. It's actually a portrait layout, which is something that I feel for people like buying a 4-bedder at this kind of quantum, I may not like it because For me, I am looking for a luxurious feel. I am looking for something that gives me
wider frontage.
Yeah, so it's like I don't mind paying for that lah, to be honest, because I'm already paying this quantum. I don't mind topping up if I can get the option. So I think it may not be appeal to some of them. So that's one thing you want to take a note. Then the rest of the layout is pretty standard. So for the master bedroom, walk-in wardrobe lah. Then this area you can put your dressing table. There's also even some space for your side table as well. Then in terms of the rest of the layout is pretty standard.
But I mean, if you personally ask me, based on if let's say it's 2.6 mil or even 2.5 mil for a 4-bedder, I think it's pretty attractive based on the price point. Because for Lentor Mansion, just now as what I mentioned, is already 2.62 already, right? So a 3-bedder versus 4-bedder, definitely I will go for the 4-bedder. Because this is 4-bedder compact. I think it more appeals to those that is like HDB upgraders, or maybe it's like those 2-room wanted to shift to 4-bedders, those kind of buyers in future for those kind of
those private upgraders as well. So I think for this quantum, very attractive. So I think if it's suitable for you, you can give it a shot. Now we have come to the 4-bedroom compact comparison. So we have a few developments here for Lentor. Lentor Mansion is the one that's harmonized. So for Lentor Central, we're looking at about 2.1 per square foot, which is about 2.49 million. Very attractive, like what we mentioned earlier. So Hillock Green, you're looking at about 2.61 for highest transaction, already accepted in the market, 22xx per square foot. So one is harmonized, one is not harmonized. I think the choice is clear because if you were to compare apple to apple, one is more livable space you get for Lentor Central. So personally, if you were to ask me, I would take the one that has more livable space. Yeah, so harmonized one is the clear-cut choice here.
With the same price but different size, harmonized will be the one to go.
Yeah, and I think in this case, it's quite clear that harmonized is the better option because same size. So if you were to look for a Lentor Hills, right, we're looking at 1346 square feet. Highest transaction already 2.78. But I think I wanted to highlight to you guys here is that it's not apple to apple comparison.
Reason why?
Because size is not the same . And I mean, the quantum also, you're looking at 2.78, which is quite a bit of a difference from 2.5 .
It looks like more like a 4-bedder premium, those kind of layout, right?
Yes, correct. I don't think it's a like-for-like comparison if you were to put for in that way. In terms of Lentoria, we have the highest transaction about 2.78, 23 per square foot. Very steep .
I mean, with this layout, I might not be very appealing because first thing foremost, it's a very long corridor and it's a dumbbell layout, which means that because the other side probably will be a master junior, which is more likely will be your parents staying there or in-laws staying that side. And the other side will be all your families, but I prefer everything is on one side, honestly speaking, on this problem.
Also, that's why I think the units are left, 26 units still left, quite a bit. So I guess personally, in my take is that it's not the best out here if you were to compare across the Lentor developments. So we have Lentor Modern, highest transaction is about 3.43. Again, I just want to highlight that it's not the like-for-like comparison.
But it's not easy for people to try to upgrade from 3-bedder to 4-bedder because the price is like almost 1 million apart from the other one. Of course, due to the size, but the layout is nice. But I think that one more likely look for me is like a 5-bedder or those kind of size.
Yeah, so I think definitely it's not the best here. I mean, if you are looking at this kind of pricing, very steep.
If I'm an upgrader but next time I want to buy in the resale market, probably Lentor Modern will be the last choice for me because quantum-wise already like a barrier for me to go ahead already.
Yeah, for sure. Then lastly, we have Lentor Mansion. So one unit left, 22xx per square feet. Harmonized, like what I mentioned, highest transaction 2.92 mil. So it's quite steep also.
Which is good because the highest transaction is 2.92, right? Which means that you give a very good buffer.
There's a safety buffer.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to get in at 2.49, someone already paid 2.92, your exit is also very clear for you. In this case, it's well taken care of. All in all, I think Lentor Central is a good option. This 1184 square feet, I think it's something that if you are looking for a 4-bed in Lentor, it will stand out.
The price is very appealing.
I mean, 2.49, come on Nowadays, 3-bedder also, you barely can get Even EOK 3-bedder is really what price is not cheap So
2.6 also have a
EOK. Yeah, so if you can get a 4-bedder, I think it's really attractive. I personally feel a lot of others may come in also because I think this quantum very attractive for them to get a 4-bedder. Usually if I stay in a big HDB like a EA, EM, I cannot go into a 2-bed plus study or all these, it's too small for me. So this is a quantum that is I think suitable, and even those condo upgraders like those in resale, maybe the nearby projects as well, I think good option. Right now we have come to the 4-bed compact for type 4B. So actually it's about block 18, stack 8, inward facing. It's about 25 units. What I like about this layout actually, right, you can see that there's this space in here, which you can actually do up one more walk-in wardrobe
or slide table or dressing table, right? All these things.
So a lot of flexible, because different families, different needs, I think you can do whatever that you want. So if you were to ask me between 4A, 4B, just now you're going through 4A all the way,
if
right?
you feel 4A is better,
then
4B is much better,
even
right?
better, yes.
Yeah.
So I think definitely 4B is also an option that you can give a very good consideration to lah. End of the day also comes down to balloting, seeing which is the unit that you're getting. But to be honest, I think 4B is a better option than 4A. Yep. So if you were to look at quantum, similar lah. So just what I covered earlier. Now we have come to the 4-bed premium analysis. Now we have type 4C. So there's actually two blocks lah, block 18 and 20, stack 3, stack 16, 51 units, 11%. 1399 square feet, so it's quite big, outward facing. So you can see that both is actually outward facing like this. Okay, what I really like about this layout, right, is actually a landscape living and dining. So
is it the one that you keep looking for?
Yes. So I think personally, landscape wins hands down lah. So it's something that I think for people in this quantum very important.
Actually, it looks very luxe because you're standing at the kitchen area. You actually can see the whole living dining area all the way spread until the balcony, the kitchen area. It should be very bright and windy.
I really like this layout lah. I mean, maybe it's my bias. I really like white living and dining. It's also very big kitchen area. The yard area is also good. And everyone have their own bathrooms. I think it's very important because for people usually living in this kind of huge 4-bedders, usually their family size is big. They have multi-generation living in the same house, different household members. So I think it's very important to have your own bathroom. Not many of the layouts out there in the resale market or even the new launch also, they don't have this. Again, Lentor Central layout stands out for this lah. So I think this is a very good 4-bed premium in the market currently.
Especially on the price point, right? If you can see, is like, let's say we take average 2001 PSF, it's like 2.94. So the price is like lower than just now the Lentor mentioned, the Lentor Modern, which is like 3 point something mil. The size is compared, right? I probably will get this because I can feel a bit luxe as compared to the rest. And there is more efficient layout lah, if you ask me. That's why maybe developer is putting 51 units as compared to the previous two compact, which is 26 units only.
Yep, definitely agree. And I think very attractive for 2.94, you get a 1399 square feet. It stands out lah. Because not many units are like this in the whole of Lentor. Even though there's so many projects, you buy this kind of layout, next time you exit, well taken care of. Because Treasure all this, you can see the people that bought the bigger units like 5-bed, for profit margins are almost 1 mil lah, some of them. So if you want to exit safely and I think get a good margins next time, I think this kind of layouts will definitely stand out. And this could be a layout that I think, might be in high demand as well. Now we have come to the 4-bedroom rankings lah. So our first choice would definitely be 4C if it's a quantum that you can afford. Because let's say 2.94, I think it's very attractive for a 4-bed premium in today's market. And I think that would definitely be our number one choice lah. I think unanimously we all agree on that. So number 2 will be the type 4B, which is the inward facing one. Personally, just now we were mentioning like that you get this extra space, right, that you can do additional walk-in wardrobe. I think the ladies would definitely love it. So this could be the ladies one, then the other one, the smaller one, can be for the guys lah. So lastly would be the investor's choice layout, which I think is the other one that's about 1184. They don't have the space to do up an additional walk-in wardrobe lah.
But I believe the developer will price this a little bit lower as compared to type 4B lah. Just like you mentioned that this one might not able to fit in another wardrobe.
Yep.
But actually the wardrobe is pretty wide if you go and look at the floor plan.
Yes, you can see that this plot is really quite wide. So in all, I think it could be the investor's choice layout lah, because I feel if you're looking for a 4-bed investment, I think this is the layout that you might be able to go for. Personally, if it's especially priced a bit lower than the rest, I think good entry point for you.
But if the price is similar as type 4B, then my investor choice layout then will be type 4B already. Because as I mentioned, they also can install 2 wardrobes on that side.
Yeah, end of the day, I think it all comes down to preferences lah. And I think all comes down to the numbers also. Investors, very sensitive on numbers. Now we have come to the 4-bedroom premium comparison across the different developments. So actually only Hillock, Lentor Hills and Lentor Modern have these layouts that we are premium lah.
The bigger 4-bedder over here lah.
Yes, for sure. For Hillock, right, actually the highest is already 3.02 mil. Lentor Hills, you're looking about 2.92 mil when it's about 2,000 a square foot lah. Lastly, Lentor Modern, we're looking about 3.43 like what we mentioned earlier lah, which
the
is
size, right?
The size is very
The size will affect the total quantum.
Yes. In terms of that, we are looking about 2,245 per square foot. All in all, right, I think if you're looking for a 4-bed premium Lentor Central again stands out because the quantum is right.
Yes.
Because end of the day, with harmonization and all that, right, how we see developers pricing projects is really based on quantum is kept constant, but the PSF is higher. But even after all that, right, if you can get something at 2.79 for a 4-bed premium, it's a very clear cut that I think is an option that you can consider.
Totally agree on that.
So, yeah, so that's our 4-bed premium analysis for you across the board for all the Lentor projects. Lastly, stay connected with us again. So this is actually our Telegram channel. For myself, I will keep you guys updated with bounce out units, fire sales, and any property related matters. So this is also Andy's WhatsApp. So feel free to contact us.
So you can DM us so that we can explain to you different layout, different budget. What should we go for? What are the walk-away price and what are the price that we should look for?
One thing we also want to highlight about us is that if a project is not suitable for you or is something that you want to walk away, we will advise you to do so because end of the day, projects like Emerald of Katong, Ori, people were still buying at the prices were on its peak. And this is really because the projects were high. So we really do not want our customers to go through this because end of the day, there are other options out there. Not like this is the only project that you can buy for this amount of content that you're looking for. It's really not worth to pay that kind of pricing then because you're already paying a premium as compared to your neighbor that bought on the same day. So
I'm more worried that next time when you want to exit, it will be difficult because as he mentioned already, he bought at a high price. You need to sell even higher to exit. But we need to understand the demand. Is it able to be your next buyer or not to buy this style of property?
Yeah, and I think all this is our objective. So we will be very objective with you guys and guide you in the right direction. So thank you and we look forward to working with you guys. WhatsApp links are also right down in the description box below. So also want to ask you guys to just do give a like and also share and subscribe. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Hi guys, sorry, I just wanted to add on to what we have previously covered. So today officially the Lentor Central prices are out. So for 1-bedder we're looking at 975k, which is very very cheap, and I think that is something very attractive in today's new launch market. For 2-bedder we're looking at about 1.38, which amounts up to 2,000 per square foot. 2-bed, 2-bath, enclosed kitchen at these kind of starting prices, practically unheard of, even for in the new launch market as a whole. So I think this is something that's very attractive, something that you can really take a look at. And if you're looking for a 3-bedder, 1.8 for a 3-bedder, I would close eyes and take because this kind of pricing very very attractive. 4-bedder is at 2.37. So this actually presents an opportunity for you because developer is pricing it very attractively. Even let's say we were to take it, as I've also attached the guide price matrix based on the different prices. So if you were to look at it, 2-bed for even at a 2.2k per square foot, you're looking at about 1.49, which is very very decently priced. I would think that this is something that you can close eyes and go in fact, because 1.5 in today's market for a 2-bed, 2-bath, 678 square feet enclosed kitchen is practically unheard of. Some of the resale prices are already at that kind of pricing. Even for resale affinity, no MRT yet, we are looking at the kind of pricing 1.45 on average. So if you can get something at 1.49, even if your Q number is not good, I personally think it's very attractive. So these are some of the prices accordingly for how you want to see and how you want to plan. Don't worry, if this is something that we guys can help you out with along the whole process. So do feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to guide you. So I've actually left it here so that you guys can actually take a look and hope it actually helps for your planning. So that's all from me, and till then, bye bye.